Our first question in the front.
We found out that this is the first time in 7 years that musical acting title where you're actual color.
Whoa.
And I'm wondering, what does it feel like to be part of that milestone moment?
The way that this season feels, it's all very new to me. I don't have a lot to compare this Broadway experience to. I didn't know much about Broadway before this show. And I've never worked here, and I've really never worked in New York before, so, but I know what I felt growing up. I know that growing up I felt like there was no place for me here, and that's part of the reason that I wasn't here. So, having been a part of this season where I look around and it is so inclusive, not just culturally, but, in terms of ability and in terms of age and in terms of, there's so much diversity on Broadway right now, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. I'm very, and it makes me so happy to see so many kids running around, so many just like theater kids nerding out over these shows because they can find themselves in that. And I think it was sort of luck that I found my way into theater. I sort of tripped and fell into it, and it didn't matter to me that nobody looked like me, like it was a thing that felt all right for me to try on, but I was a weird kid anyway. It's nice to have it be feeling a little more mainstreamed and a lot more inclusive than I think it did when I was younger.
David, the next question is going to be for you in the back on your right.
Hi, David. It's so good to see you again. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You told me a few weeks ago that you had brought a little bit of Oakland, California into your Thomas Jefferson with your grandpa and your father.
Oh, yeah.
And how does it, what do you wish that you could say to them right now?
Well, I'll say all the things to my dad. He's upstairs. But, and my grandpa too. I'll call him on the phone, and he'll say some real slick stuff back. But yeah, I think I have always aspired to be my father. I always have, and I'm not. We're sort of fundamentally different in a lot of ways, but I try him on from time to time. This outfit right now, you know what I'm saying? This is the thing. I feel great in this because this is some stuff my dad would have wore when he was younger, And he looks so much better than me tonight. It's ridiculous, but and it's not just his style, but that's the way that I get to play it, right? But it's really the kind of man he is and the kind of person that he is and the kind of love that he exudes. And so getting to play a role where I get to take these things that I learned from just trying to walk around like my dad walks around, has been so great. I don't know. And Thomas Jefferson, like, come on, there's no way that should be real. That I should get to read lines written for Thomas Jefferson and be like, yeah, that's my father. Except maybe that's way too real. But I think it's been so great. It's been so much fun. It's one of the great things about this process is how much of ourselves we were asked to bring to it, and how much sense it kept making to do that. So there, my family is all through all of this work, and that's great. Because I'm far away from them right now. It's nice to sort of carry them with me, and all of Oakland with me. It's nice to feel that. There's my shot happens, and I don't know when I started doing this. I think I was just doing it when there were people in the audience, but there's a moment where everybody freezes. And whenever I had people from Oakland in the audience, I would throw up my W in the freeze, right? And see if anybody noticed. And now I do it every night, and I still haven't got a note on it, so I probably shouldn't have said that, but so maybe I won't get to do it anymore. But that's one of those things, right? That's one of those things that just in the middle of all of this thing, it, for me, makes perfect sense in the midst of this performance, just be like, yes, I get to represent my actual self while telling this story. And I think that's part of why Hamilton is so inclusive. We all get to represent, we get to see our actual selves in this story about the founding of the country we all live and participate.
Another question? Yes?
How amazing was this talking?
Thanks.
How amazing does it feel? So this is your Broadway debut, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how amazing does it feel to make your Broadway debut?
It's pretty amazing. Like I said, I have nothing to compare it to. Like I really don't, and I wasn't a musical theater kid. You know, I didn't grow up learning. Hamilton is the only score of a musical I know. That's it. That's the extent of my musical theater knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I am pretty familiar with Fiddler on the Roof because my mom's really obsessed with that musical. So we always had it playing in the house growing up. But those are kind of the things for me. But I will say that I've never been around a better group of artists. And I've been an artist for a long time, just doing things nobody cared about. But which is what being an artist is, I think, most of the time, you know. But being with this group of artists, they're just the most generous, caring people. I mean, one of the crazy things about tonight is representatives from Hamilton got to make a lot of speeches, and I was just out in the audience, just sort of struck by how fortunate I am to get to be around these women and men all the time who think like this, who have minds like this, and who are as generous and caring and loving as they are. So that's really the best part of being associated with this show for me is I'm associated with the best people. That's a real good look.
David, the next question is going to be in the second row.
Hi. All right, I know you're still on the show right now, obviously, but what do you think is next for you? Are you going to pursue Hollywood or go back to rap? What do you think?
I mean, I will absolutely be making more rap songs. That's the only thing I could tell you for sure. This has opened so many doors that I didn't even know existed. So, and I tell my poor reps all the time, like, I'm just trying to do cool stuff with good people. It's really like, that's what I want to do, and that's a thing I've been doing always. So that's a thing I've been pursuing for my entire career, and it's working out right now. So I guess there's no reason to stop. So yeah, I think I hope to try all of that. And the little taste that I've been getting of sort of television work and just working with more incredible artists in different mediums is really, really exciting. And the learning curve is really steep for me right now. You know, I feel like I'm taking in a lot of information every time I get on a set or I talk to a kind of artist that I haven't worked with before. So that's really exciting for me. I just want to get to keep pushing towards those things. And also, Hamilton's so much fun to do still. However many hundreds of shows in, it is, no matter what kind of day I'm having, as soon as we start performing that show, it's the best part of my day still, and that's amazing. So that is also not a thing to be taken lightly when you're figuring out what to do next. We could keep doing it.
The next question will be here in the front row on your left.
Hi. So what is it like to have the White House championing your show? The Obamas, and have other people stop by that were pretty crazy moments?
Yeah, I mean, the celebrity list is nuts, but that that intro to the performance was kind of not fair, right? I mean, it's like Barack and Michelle, and then here's Common, and she's just saying, and this is a musical. Like, that's the thing you have to remind yourself every day. Like, guys, we're doing a play. That's crazy. But yeah. People, I always get asked, like, what's the most surreal moment of this process for me? And I always say it's meeting Barack for the second time. Like, how do you get to do that? The day we spent at the White House performing for for them and the way that they opened up their house to us. And we were getting to teach workshops with kids in there. That was such an incredible day. And that family, that our first family, for only a little while longer is just, it's not gonna happen again. Probably probably not ever, but certainly not for a long, long time. And that they are, wherever you stand politically, they represent a kind of heart that we need very badly right now, I think. So it is, I feel very blessed that they are champions of the show, and that they would want to have us come over there, and that they managed to see themselves in what we're doing too, because they're great people.
And our last question will be here in the back on the left side.
Over here, David, over
Hey.
here. I think you don't have to be a hip-hop expert, and I'm assuming there aren't a lot of hip-hop experts in this, maybe a few, but to recognize that you are probably one of the best MCs in the world. I mean, I was watching Busta Rhymes on The Breakfast Club, and they were making him do his thing, and he was rapping so fast, and he was sweating, and I was thinking, David can do that. Now, having said that, you talked a little bit about some of the opportunities that you may be getting and how you want to record an album. Could you share with us what you envision that album being and who you might be collaborating with at some point? Is that something you can discuss?
Not in any sort of detail that's particularly fun, I think, but I'm in this band Clipping, and we have new stuff coming out very soon. Y'all should pay attention. If you're not like following Clipping on Twitter, you should probably follow Clipping on Twitter pretty soon. There's music coming out through that project that I'm very, very excited for people to hear over the course of this year. And then I'm also working on solo stuff and working with all of my favorite collaborators, but certainly this experience, after we performed on the Grammys, Busta Rhymes texted me. That's like a hero of mine since forever, right? He's working on Extinction Level Event 2, we all hear, right? ELE1, I remember going to Rasputin's Records in Berkeley and picking that album up the day it came out and having to pull over to the side of the road, driving my mom's car. Had to pull over to the side of the road and stop and listen to it twice before I could move again. It was so good. So I've learned so much from him, and he's a hero of mine, and to be able to have that kind of exchange with somebody like that is incredible. And for Common, who we are seeing each other backstage, he's been to the show a few times. Like these are people who I've grown up looking up to, and being in a musical on Broadway gave me access. I've been a rapper my whole life. You couldn't tell me that I need to do a Broadway musical to be in a BET cypher. Come on, that's not how it's supposed to work, except that's how it works. And just all those guys. I mean, I went on Fallon and the Roots played one of my songs. Black Thought was rapping my hook when I walked out. That is just a paradigm shift that I don't know if you can even comprehend right now, but that is, it broke my whole brain. So, we go back on Tuesday and do this Broadway musical. Like that's, Tommy says it all the time, Hamilton shouldn't exist except that it does. And I think that is really the spirit in which all of these sort of things that are coming at me, I feel that very palpably all the time.
Great, thank you very much. Congrats again.